City Talks with Reuben Abati.
Hello, good afternoon out there, and welcome to another edition of your number one talk show, City Talks with Reuben Abati, on your number one lifestyle station, City 1051 FM. On this show, we talk about stories of political and human interest which affect us as Nigerian citizens and as members of a global community. Today, we'll be discussing Abba Kyari's indictment in a U.S. court, the Court District of California. Abba Kyari is Deputy Commissioner of Police in Nigeria. And also the Kayode Ajulo case with regard to the Ondo State governorship election, which went all the way from the Ondo State Election Petitions Tribunal to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court taking a decision in a 4-3 split decision, in which we had a majority judgment and also a minority decision, both raising questions about Section 183 of the 1999 Constitution, Section 17 of the All Progressive Congress Party Constitution, and also other related issues in terms of technicalities, whether Malam Buni, governor of Yobe State and chairman of the caretaker committee of the APC, should have been joined in the matter or not. And then, of course, today, some states are going ahead with congresses at the local government level and at the World Congress level in the All Progressives Congress. And we have with us a very distinguished Nigerian to guide us through some of these issues and other related issues that we may be interested in or that you may bring up as our listeners, as participants in this program. We want to thank you very much and ask you to join us in welcoming to this program Dr. Kayode Ajulo. Dr. Kayode Ajulo, lawyer, writer, unionist, and a distinguished citizen. Abraham Olukayode Ajulo, popularly known as Kayode Ajulo, is a lawyer, unionist, author, writer, tutor, arbitrator, and notary public. He is the principal partner of Kayode Ajulo & Co., Castle of Law, a fully commercialized law firm in Abuja, or if you like, a full commercial law firm in Abuja with contacts in Lagos, Akure, Kaduna, Jos, Ibadan, Enugu, London, Cardiff, Kumasi, and Bangui. Dr. Ajulo is also the founder and chairman of the Egalitarian Mission Africa, a non-governmental and non-profit making organization for the promotion of the rule of law, social and also economic equality in Africa. He's a law graduate of the University of Jos. He was called to the Nigerian bar in the year 2001. He also obtained his Master of Laws degree, LLM, in 2006, and later a PhD degree in law, specializing in corporate social responsibility and social justice. Dr. Ajulo is a member of several notable organizations, including Avant-Garde International, International Association of Human Rights Lawyers, Nigerian Red Cross, the Nigerian Institute of Management, the Nigerian Bar Association, and the International Bar Association, and is, in addition to all of that, a member of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators of the United Kingdom. Dr. Ajulo is also an adjunct visiting lecturer at the Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko in Ondo State, and the Egalitarian Basic Studies Institute in Kumasi, Ghana. He's a respected voice in local and international media, and he has been very active in advocacy campaign for global good governance and democracy, and is one of the leading voices against corruption, nepotism, and injustice. He served as chairman of Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation from 2013 to 2015. He was elected at the 4th Convention of the Labour Party in Nigeria as the National Secretary, Chief Administrative Officer on October 11, 2014, and is currently the Diocesan Registrar of the Church of Nigeria, Anglican Communion, Akoko Diocese. If you want to be part of this conversation, you can call us on 0700 1051 1051. You can also leave comments on WhatsApp 090 991 4403. And you can also join us on social media accounts City 1051 on Zoom and Facebook. Dr. Kayode Ajulo, thank you very much for joining us on City Talks with Reuben Abati this afternoon. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abati. It's my pleasure to be with you. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you very much.
And please let me quickly say this. I'm speaking from Jalingo, that's in Taraba State, and the network seemed to be a bit erratic. So at one point I may be switching off the video so that I can hear you properly. So my apologies on that, please.
Okay, we'll try to make the best of the situation. But what are you doing in Jalingo, Taraba State?
Yeah, I do. I have some matters in which I missed my flight, and I was supposed to return to Abuja yesterday, but unfortunately, the flight from Abuja to Taraba is only just once, and once you miss that, you are at the mercy of God to bring you back home.
Okay, no problem about that. But very quickly, let us deal with the issue today in Nigeria. The All Progressives Congress, the APC, your party, you used to be in the Labour Party, but I think you moved to the APC. The party is holding congresses today in parts of the country. In some other states, there have been, court injunctions, like Imo State, for example, stopping the Congress. And the big issue is the controversy that arose from the case before the Supreme Court. The Yitayo Jegede and Oluwarotimi Akeredolu case before the Supreme Court, which has to do with the decision of their justices, of their lordships, 4-3, in terms of the interpretation of Section 183 of the 1999 Constitution and Article 17 of the APC Constitution. And the major concern is that if the APC goes ahead, as it has been advised by the National Economic Executive Committee today, that the APC will have been, more or less taking a gamble, and that could come later to haunt the party, because the justices, their lordships, were all clear in saying that Malam Buni, should not have been, in the position as chairman of the caretaker committee of the party. Where do you stand in this regard? I mean, I ask you this question, having read the informed opinion by Mike Uzekome SAN on the back page of this day newspaper this morning.
Well, thank you very much. Let me start by saying this, that I'm aware that the Supreme Court has given the final judgment, that's been the apex court in the land, has given a judgment on the issue between the Governor Rotimi Akeredolu and Yitayo Jegede, in which, as we speak today, the Supreme Court has affirmed that the winner and the governor of Ondo State for the next 4 years is Rotimi Akeredolu. And having given that judgment, I agree with the judgment in totality, both the minority judgment and the majority judgment, that is the leading judgment. And the way we used to say in that balance, that as court places, we agree with it totally. So the review, or whatsoever name we can call it this morning, this afternoon that we may be doing, should not be seen as something of an appeal of the judgment of the Supreme Court, and will be tied any lawyer to constitute itself as an appeal, because this is the final bus stop for such controversy or short matter. But what we should be looking at is the fallout, and if I may use another word, more of like a lesson, like a takeaway to be taken from the position of the Supreme Court, that is our Lord. And bearing in mind that today, when we talk of justice, when we talk of wisdom, it resides in them. And I must first salute their industry, their courage, their tenacity, and what they've been able to do to prepare and to resolve that issue. And having said that, the takeaway, which is now causing some alabalu, which shouldn't have caused, is the dissenting judgment on the legality of the present ESCO, that's Executive Council, or in whatsoever name you call it, it's still the Executive Council, National Executive Council, or sometimes they call it Working Committee of the All Progressive Congress. As it is, if you could remember, Doctor, on the day the Malam Bole, His Excellency Malam Bole was appointed, not elected, as the interim chairman of APC, I happen to be one of those that raised that voice and to say this is totally a violation of the section of the Constitution. And if I must quote the section rightly, that is section 183 of our Constitution. I'm not talking of the APC Constitution, but the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. And that section 183 emphatically, clearly, because the word used there is shall not, and the word shall is different from can. It is an obligation. It is not something that maybe we can tinker with. Shall not, and make them emphatically that once you are a governor of any state, shall not take any position in executive office. And it went out to say or in employment position. And finally, the Constitution used another word, in whatsoever. That means that whatsoever name or whatsoever nomenclature or whatsoever structure, one is an executive office. And by the time you look at the definition of what is called an executive office, and if time will permit me, let me quickly use this opportunity to explain the difference between executive office when you are in a position, an office of the executive office, from what is not. For example, some minutes ago, when you are trying to introduce me, you mentioned that I was a chairman of Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation, but I was chairman Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation in part-time basis. That one is non-executive. That is why I never use any office to sit in an office or to do anything whatsoever. And as a non-executive chairman, all you need to do is to add some of these meetings, which sometimes may be quarterly or at most 6 times in a year. This one different from the fact that, and why this one is so, is because we have a director general who happened to be your good friend, I'm sure, Ladi Akeredolu, who is in position to run day-to-day activities of the corporation. And the same thing, the way you can look for another non-executive offices, visitors of the university. That is why you will say that the President Commander-in-Chief of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, he happened to be the visitors of all these federal universities in Nigeria. The same way you see all the state governors as the visitors of their university. Like in Ondo State, where I come from, Akeredolu happened to be the visitor of the university. And you find out that it is more of a ceremonial position in which he can come to there, maybe on convocation or any other day. And the real chief executive of the university is vice chancellor and the registrar. Now, I am trying to make this explanation because having been once a national secretary of a party in Nigeria, you know that the two alter ego of each party as constituted by the Electoral Act, both the Nigerian Constitution are the national chairman and the national secretary. And that is why you see that any return, not only that they will see day-to-day activities of the party, but all those statutory notices, statutory form, it will be endorsed by two individuals. And for now, to make His Excellency Malabuni a governor, as chief executive of a state, Yobe State, to now put him in a position of national chairman of APC is a clear violation of our constitution. We raised it that time, but the whole thing just maybe people, everybody's treated it with kid glove. Now, come the Ondo State election. That election is so clear. By the result released by the INEC, Rotimi Akeredolu won in 15 local governments, clearly. And that one means that he has a majority vote, not only majority vote and very outstanding votes. And when Kyari Ojegede, senior advocate of Nigeria, filed his appeal in court, the major issue canvas is not about who won the election or who didn't win. The major issue is the return, who signed the return form, that is nomination form of Rotimi Akeredolu. And the argument was this: Malam Boni, having been and still being the state governor of Yobe State, cannot at the same time be able to execute any form. And that form in that appeal is Exhibit P21. That is the nomination of Rotimi Akeredolu and Lucky Aiyedatiwa. And at Supreme Court, the sentencing judgment went to the fact to go into the merit of the matter and comes out with this issue that Malam Boni, having been the governor of Yobe State, cannot be seen in law to execute that nomination form. And based on this, the court set aside, declared the nomination form of Rotimi Akeredolu null and void, and immediately returned Kyari Ojegede as the duly elected governor of Ondo State. However, the lead judgment, because when it comes to constitutional issue, are you with me?
I'm listening clearly.
Yeah. But when it comes to constitutional issue, the Supreme Court is always constituted by 7 justices. The dissenting judgments by 3, and the remaining 4 decided to still go with what the Court of Appeal did by saying the issue should have been different. Had it been Governor Malam Boni has been joined as a party. So because of the non-joinder of Malam Boni, they are not going to go into the merit of whether what he did is right or not. And based on that, Rotimi Akeredolu was declared as the governor of Ondo State. Now, the issue is this. The question that plagues the mind of everybody is, had it been that Malam Boni is joined, what will have been what the 4 remaining justices will have done? And it is so clear what they will have done. Though I understand one thing, that there are some, even our senior colleagues, senior advocates, even yesterday, I was so shocked yesterday seeing one of them saying the dissenting judgment is useless, is worthless. With due respect, I must say it is not worthless. The question we should ask is that why must it be that the dissenting judgment should be read? It should be read for us to have the hints of what is going on in the minds of our noble lords, that is the jurists. It can even be the critics of the majority judgment. And any lawyer, for the sake of argument, the only thing you cannot use dissenting judgment to do is to enforce an order, but it can be used to persuade, to move, for the purpose of argument. And as it is today, one thing that can, the only hint we can get from the APC court is that dissenting judgment, that any day the issue of Malam Boni comes before the court, we can predict what will happen to the matter. So as it is so clear that Malam Boni continues stay as the chairman in whatsoever name it is called, with the miniker to the existence, to the success of All Progressive Congress. And if you remember in that thesis, I even quoted the well-known dictum of Lord Denning, that you can't build something on nothing. it will crumble. And what that one means today is any action done by APC under the leadership of the governor of Yobe State, Malam Buni, who is the chief executive governor of a state, will be rendered a nullity if it comes to court. And what are we having now? Just between now and yesterday, I'm aware of nothing less than 6 different suits, and this one is more like a pointer of what is about to happen. So my expectation and our prayer is that the leadership of the APC will quickly have a rethink. I understand, and somebody told me that a primary is going on now. I won't partake in that primary. Of course, because I know if that such exercise is brought before judicial scrutiny, we know where it is going. And I think most of learned jurists, lawyers, senior advocates, they maintain this position. And another thing we should ask ourselves is this: in a country of over 200 million Nigerians, how come APC cannot get someone who is not encumbered, that is a state governor, whose our constitution has already outlawed him from performing such function? Where lies the interest? Is it the personal interest or the interest of the party? Well, and even like what I told someone yesterday, because when I heard that someone mentioned that the issue or the gang up against Malabuni is because maybe it's coming from the south. And I need to say, even Malabuni should bring his wife or his houseboy or his driver to be the chairman of APC. I don't think that will have been a problem.
Dr. Ajulo, I mean, you stated one position. The position sustained by Festus Keyamo, Minister of State for Labor and Employment. The position put forward by Michael Zekume SAN, who says the APC has just stepped on a banana peel, which will have very far-reaching implications. And obviously, your position is on all fours with the position expressed by those 2 learned counsel. And it's also noteworthy that all the 7 lordships on the issue of the interpretation of Section 183, I think they were in unison. They also took the same position. But the party is saying that based on the conclusion of their lordships, that, look, the court will not inquire into party matters, that indeed the National Executive Committee of the party has the right to set up a caretaker committee and to run his own affairs as he deems fit, and that in any case, Malam Buni was not in an executive position, that he was just in that position just to serve the purpose of the party, and that he was not collecting, he was not being paid for that assignment. And it's on the basis of that that I assume that they approached the Attorney General of the Federation, who is also a member of the party, and who gave the advice that has led to some of those congresses holding across the country today. So it looks like your party, the APC, is at a crossroads. What do you think will happen? Is there really a banana peel, or is this a gamble, or the party will get away with it, particularly in the light of the stiff challenge for 2023 elections, beginning with the gubernatorial elections in Anambra State on November 6, 2021?
Well, thank you, Dr. Abati. Though you just mentioned the banana peel, and I remembered that my senior colleagues, that's Lanesik, Michael Zokome, mentioned banana peel. What APC is stepping on is more than banana peel. If we call it okra peel, I think that would bring it home better. Okra peel, I believe it can be slippery more than banana peel in this issue. APC, as I speak, is using the both two legs to stand on okra peel, and just a little flip, APC will crumble. And that is the issue. But one thing again we need to know is this. I know one of the understanding of the leadership of APC, because I won't join issue with the Lalen Attorney General of Federation, is that since Malam Buni is not receiving salary, then he's not in executive position. It is quite, that argument is quite laughable. That so once you did not receive salary, you are not in executive position. I know of some governors that will tell you that they are not even on salary despite, and the question is, since they are not receiving salary, can we now say that they are not in executive position as governor? At least one that I can remember quickly is that of Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola. I think he told all of us that he never received salary as a governor. Can we now say that because he never received salary, he is not a governor of Osun State as at that time? Then apart from that, and some people saying this is more or less an internal party, I believe nobody should now want to equate issue of internal party to now be an immunity to commit murder or to commit treason, because by my study, violation of Nigerian constitution amount to treason in its form. The issue left the realm of internal affair of the party when it now comes to issue that there's some obligation, constitutional obligation, that office has to execute. For example, there are statutory notices that whosoever that occupies the office that the governor of Yobe State is occupying in APC must endorse. For example, all those statutory notices, whether to call for congresses, to call for conventions, to make some appointment, even including nominations of candidates. Who should endorse this? And these are obligations backed by law. That's why I call it statutory publication. At the point of doing that, you are already performing executive function. You are doing the one in your best state, and at the same time think you want to do that. And everybody believe that once you are not drawing salary, then that one has already washed your sin of violating the constitution. What is happening today? Anyway, like someone called me this morning, I must share this joke with you. He called me and said, it's like a duty more I want to want APC. I'm sure, Dr. Abba, you're a linguist and you understand the meaning of it. Maybe you help me interpret it very well. And I want to be forced to believe that maybe this is what is at play, because I cannot see where someone will see fire, a very large furnace, and will be going towards such furnace. It's like jumping into the ocean. And I believe, I repeat, I believe and pray that this exercise and that step of APC may not be the end of APC as it is. And mind you, I must say this, our Lord Justices of Supreme Court, they are watching. They have given, I remember 2 days ago, I was on a conference with about 2 days ago, senior advocate of Nigeria, who also happened to be one-time legal advisor, even immediate past legal advisor of APC. He said to the whole world that the Supreme Court has given us a hint. I said, this is not a hint, it's a warning that next time you come before here, whatsoever done by Malabuni, the governor of Yobe State, will be rendered nullity. Even right there, the dissenting judgment, like I said, Exhibit P21, that happened to be the nomination form. That is the paper and form nominating Rotimi Akeredolu, was set aside based on one single fact, that it was signed by Malam Buni. Now the question is this: I know any step taken by Malam Buni under the leadership of Malam Buni will crumble in whatsoever way anybody may twist it to be. I may not understand what is happening. I mean, it's already been exercised by Dino Melaya and the rest, and they've already sent it, because Dino always says send by fire, send by fire. Maybe Dino has already sent it to APC. I mean, I'm not a pastor or a prophet to say, but the that step is saying that something is totally wrong with APC.
Okay, Dr. Ajulo, let us just wrap that up by saying, well, with the All Progressive Congress and the ward and local government congresses being held today in some of the states, that time will tell, and Nigerians will be there to watch it. But what is important in your party is the need to ensure internal democracy, which is what the Independent National Electoral Commission has always been harping upon, and how the lack of internal democracy is a problem for the integrity of the entire democratic process in Nigeria. But very
And Dr.
quickly,
Abati,
yes.
Dr. Abati, I remember you mentioned internal democracy. I'm sure it will have shocked you and to disturb many people that APC today happen to be the ruling party, more or less like a mentor of other political parties. But it beats me all that from the unit level to the ward level, to the local government level, to the state level and national level, all these levels I mentioned, the party structure are not governed by not just a single elected person. The question, everything is appointed. And it's just so disturbing that you see a senior members of the bar, pro-democracy, those we know propagating democracy every day, and in a democracy government, in elected government, canvassing for not only that, not canvassing for an elected personnel, canvassing that someone who is in violation of the constitution, the highest law of the land, should continue to superintend the party. What is happening to APC is more akin to even bringing the military sole administrator to govern a party, and that situation is sad. Sorry for the interruption.
Well, I mean, I wish I could offer you a personal opinion, but I'm here as a journalist, so I'm completely neutral in the matter. I don't have a dog in the fight, and so I'll keep my personal opinion to myself. We're just doing journalism. But very quickly, there's another major issue during the week. That is the indictment of Deputy Commissioner of Police, DCP Abba Kyari, by the court of Judge Otis Wright of the U.S. District Court for the Central Area of California, with regard to the case in which Ramon Hushpuppi Abbas is involved, and 4 others, including Vincent Ibuvo, I think that's his name, and some other Nigerians. And here, a serving police officer in Nigeria has been accused of a conspiracy to launder money, and also of having received gratification in violation of Principles 6 and 7 of the Code of Conduct for Nigerian Policemen. What do you make of all of this? Is the U.S. going very soon to ask for extradition? And the Police Service Commissioner said that they will do their own investigations. The Inspector General of Police has also set up a review committee. What are the implications of all of this? A super cop now being described as a super tailor and as a friend of persons involved in money laundering and abusing his office. These are, of course, allegations.
Well, like you said from the beginning, that these, of course, are allegations. And apart from that, these are allegations that the investigation, I believe, is still continuing. And these are issues that the Inspector General of Police of Nigeria has already said he is going to cause an investigation to it. And by and large, these are issues that will still be discussed, interrogated, investigated, and the inquiry made by courts. And that's because of this. I think one has to exercise caution in some of the comments on these very, very unfortunate issues. Let me start with this. It is quite unfortunate, like I said earlier, that this is happening to Nigeria. Not unfortunate that we are hearing such issue for the first time, but the personality involved and the expectation of all Nigeria I must say this, that immediately the news broke and the knowledge of the personality involved, it came to public space. I happen to be one of those that shared for not Abba Kyari, but for Nigeria. One of my first questions is, when are we going to get it right? When can't we have someone that we can celebrate? I say this against the background of the person of Abba Kyari. Not that he is a deputy commissioner of police. Of course, there are a lot of thousands of commissioner of police in Nigeria. But as it is today, Abba Kyari happened to be the most decorated public police officers in Nigeria. Even the People's Parliament, that is the People's Representative, the National Representative of Nigeria, that is the House of Rep, even set aside a day, a whole session. It is the highest honor in any democratic dispensation to eulogize, to honor, to honor Abba Kyari, in which the entire National Assembly stood still for him, in which he was called and he took a bow before the people's representatives. I don't think what a greater honor any police officer in Nigeria can get more than that. And we can see his intervention in many things that has been happening. And it is like, if you mention that Nigerian police as usual is not good, you can have someone like a Fosa boy, someone that we can call, oh, he's working as Abba Kyari. So this one alone, now I'm hearing that it is that mighty, he's now he's not about to fall. You can imagine how some of us feels about it. But however, like he said, it is still remain an allegation. And one of what elicited my intervention initially is the news in the public layer that Abba Kyari is about to be picked. Even they have read a lot of noise of FBI visiting the police headquarters. Abba Kyari will be picked now, and quickly, as a lawyer, what one needs to do is to check our law, how the way it should be, and that's why I came with the fact that extradition of Abba Kyari is not automatic. It is not because courts in the United States asked for Abba Kyari to be brought, and immediately Nigeria will do that. And all this is guided by the law. Nigeria as a sovereign state had a treaty with United States of America, and this treaty was signed on the side to force in June 24th. And apart from this, we have extradition, any other protocol. So it is not going to be true with true and fission of international and municipal law. That's our domestic law. And when it comes to that, Attorney General of Nigeria has a big role to play when it comes to that, because any request we make to our Attorney General of Nigeria, and the law even empowers the Attorney General by Section 6 of that Extradition Act to make its own finding. And again, though I read news yesterday where the police first PRO, that is Umba, saying that the Inspector General of Police has caused an investigation yet. But the question we should ask is that, can Inspector General of Police, where he has such right to discipline Abba Kyari was there? We know Abba Kyari, with his rank, being the Deputy Commissioner of Police, can only be called to question by the Police Service Commission, headed by former IG Muslim Smith. And I think that is where the problem is. And another thing again that attracts my attention. Are we there?
I'm with you. Please go ahead.
And one thing that elicits my attention again is, what actually can we say about Kyari has done. Yes, from all what has been checked in all the indictments, the court process, one have gone through it. I'm yet, and I must say this as a lawyer, I'm yet to see where the offense that the United States courts, particularly when it comes to money laundering and this advanced fee fraud as jurisdiction over, has been said that is committed by Abba Kyari. All that I can see from that indictment is basically on the fact that Abba Kyari abused his office as a police officer, which the district court in the United States, with due respect, has no power over. Though the matter is still on, the event is still unfolding. And based on that, I've raised some questions which maybe, if you permit me, I can raise that we should look at. That whether by the aggregate of facts and evidence presented to the court by the United States Special Prosecutor, is there any probable offense for which Abba Kyari might be charged? Only is that of abuse of office, which I know by our law is an act done between the territory of Nigeria, and if there is anybody to investigate, it will be by Nigerian government and Police Service Commission. And like I said, one has to be a bit careful when it comes to an issue like this, particularly since we know that this matter is still under investigation, particularly when we know that this matter maybe will still get to court inquiry. And I won't want a situation where one may be cited for contempt by trying to preempt what may be the issue of the investigation and what may come out from the court. But as it is, I must say this, it is such a very bad day for Nigeria and Nigerians, particularly in this our war against corruption, to see such an officer going down.
Yeah, but Dr. Ajulo, yes, you have talked about abuse of office, which is one of the issues involved. But you recall that Judge Wright, while unsealing that order of warrant of arrest, one of the charges is conspiracy to launder money. So will you say that on the basis of the evidence provided by the FBI and the phone conversations that, there is no case?
Anyway, you are putting the question to me to judge, and I'm afraid, anyway, from what has been presented by the special prosecutors, the issue of maybe hidden money laundering or whatever you call it, up to now, because as at the time when Abba Kyari is engaging, from what we have in that court paper, Hush Puppy is yet to be accused of any offense of money laundering. And if you remembered, even despite the fact that the prosecutor is coming, this is our fact with the prosecutors, Abba Kyari is yet to say what he knows about it. Basic thing that you can just say is that Hush Puppy kept saying somebody wanted to take my clients. The question is which client it is. The question, I think one of the things that the prosecutor needs to answer now is whether Abba Kyari is of that knowledge that the client being mentioned is one of those to be swindles. And again, whether the business and second thing, whether the business of Hush Puppy as at that time, as at that time, Abba Kyari is of knowledge and know all the discuss that what he is doing is advanced fee fraud. But as it is, from the little we can string together, it is more of issue of somebody calling a police officer. So thing is happening, and police officer acted on that, particularly saying that, this man is a genuine businessman. But like I said, investigation is going on. I won't really like to preempt the fact, but as at today, what is presented in public has been scrutinized. The cosmic review of it is yet to lay any liability on issue of advanced fees fraud or conspiracy against Abba Kyari.
Well, with due respect, what we know so far is that we had in office an imposition of power, a deputy commissioner of police who was asked to arrest a man called Vincent Chibuzo. The investigation was about, Vincent Chibuzo threatening to kill members of the Abbas family. And then the DCP, as we were told, established that this was false. Now, false, information, is it not an offense? Misleading the security agencies, is it not an offense? And then, of course, the story out there is that the responsible officer in charge of this investigation played along with the other party who said he was happy to be his boy. So that's one side of it. The other side of it is that there are transcripts provided in the depositions by the special prosecutors indicating conversations and all of that. But, okay, we are not into a trial by media because no man is guilty until he has been proven to be so. You are adjudged innocent until proven guilty. But if you look at the conversation in the public domain, Nigerians are saying, well, it may be Abba Kyari today, but maybe there are thousands of Abba Kyari and his team in the Nigerian police, and that the Nigerian police is, at the center of this storm as an institution, which even in Nigeria here does not have a very good, reputation. But I get your point about people exercising caution and due process being followed. And then, of course, we'll keep a watching brief on this particular story. But quickly, before we allow people to call in and also make their contributions and ask you questions, do you think that Governor Akeredolu, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, of Ondo State barely escaped by the whiskers because of the failure in terms of the diligence on the part of council, on the part of Iyita Jegede SAN? Do you think that those who have expressed that view are right? If Malam Buni had been a joiner in the suit, would the outcome have been different, as some persons have argued in the Jegede Akeredolu case in Ondo State?
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Abati. While coming for this interview this morning, I must confess I made a simple prayer. And my prayer is, because I know Dr. Abati, being who you are, being a very competent, who is competent, particularly when it comes to asking questions. My prayer, I think I need to reveal that prayer, is that I pray that I will not be pushed into temptation. And that temptation here is not to be cited, to constitute myself first as an appeal court on what the Supreme Court has dispensed with. But having said that, it is so obvious, because not every time you have a decision, a split division of 3-4. 3-4. And not only that, I didn't mean that after the three dissenting judgments raised the issue of the fact that by the reason that Governor of Yobe State is endorsed the form should be set aside, and Iyita Jegede is now declared winner of the election. I think that the remaining 4 has gone into the merit and used that majority judgment to undo what the dissenting judgment has done. The issue will have been different a bit. But as it is now, the position of minority judgment will continue to be cited to prevail the lower court to do what is right. And that is one another thing. So in whatsoever way you look at it, it is an escape by whisker. And I believe, anyway, even you can see Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, that is the senior advocate of Nigeria, has even come to mention, I saw him in China saying that it is God. It is God. This is not about the issue of dexterity of counsel. It is not about competence of counsel. It is not about, and I don't want to believe it is about negligence of one counsel or another, because Malam Buni, in whatsoever way you looked at it, is, as at that time, is an agent of APC. And a situation where an agent has a disclosed principal It is an elementary law. It is a law that everybody should know that once you can lay hold of the principal, you need not disturb the agent again. But we are still learning. The laws thinks otherwise, and so be it. And may Almighty God continue to bless them with their judgments.
It's okay, but judicial review, whether it's the Supreme Court or any other court within the hierarchy of courts, I guess is something that is allowed. And that's why the public has been reviewing the judgment. But you are right, we have before us in our jurisprudence another minority judgment that will continue to be cited. There have been others before now. But quickly, let's open the channels so that persons who have been listening to Dr. Ajulo can also make their comments, their contributions. But we'll have to do that very briefly. If you want to be part of this conversation, you can join us on 0700-1051-1051 and also on WhatsApp 0909-916-444-4403 and on Twitter at City1051 and also on Zoom and Facebook. We have our first caller on the line.
Yeah. Good morning and good afternoon, Dr. Reuben Abati and Dr. Ajulo. We have to on the line coming from Maui. Number one, the issue of Ondo State. I don't care whether they ban APC or they don't ban APC. As far as I'm concerned, they have brought poverty to Nigeria. Amala Buni himself, he needs to sit down in his state. The Yobe state is troubled, poverty, hunger, cholera, everything. All he has to do is just to go about. And at the other time, BBC reporter was asking him how many times he will get to your face. He said that 5 or so. He's has to be a responsible governor. We need to be very serious about governance here. Why would he just abandon his position as a sitting governor, elected governor? The people are in hunger, they are in poverty, they are in insecurity and everywhere, and you are just happy about going about the running party, all because you want to choose who is going to be the next president. I think he does about unserious on his part, and politicians should learn how to be diligent and be responsible. Then number 2, on Abba Kyari, yes, maybe he has breached some ethical practices or whatever. That's established. But as far as I am concerned, I've not really seen where they have linked him to, aiding or abetting this corrupt proceed by this suspect now, Hush Puppy. So that is it. And I don't think the gentleman should let him go back to America. If at all he has committed any crime by collecting bribe or doing whatever gifts from whoever, let him be punished here. So I don't think the noise. Maybe if the American people has any other facts they've not brought out yet, let them bring it out. But without that, they do not let him go anywhere. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Ajulo, you heard him clearly, I assume.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much. Like I said, I thank you that on Baba Kyari, you agree with me. As far as that indictment, all the whole pages, about 60-something pages, everything to submit, which 69 pages, is the issue of ethical issue, which is more or less an abuse of office, which is yet to concede to. And when it comes to abuse of office or ethical issue, I don't think it's in America that has to do this. It is in Nigeria. And again, it is more like the issue of our judiciary. And that's why we have Police Service Commission. For you to do anything with any judiciary, of course, we all saw the arguments when the former Chief Justice of Nigeria was about to be removed. We all stood up. We all asked that this, before anything can happen, National Judicial Council must have a say. Then on this issue of Abba Kyari too, particularly of the offense that has been shown by that indicting papers, it is the Nigerian Police Service Commission headed by Muslim Smith that has any jurisdiction to do before even the Attorney General can even now see to now consider the issue of extradition or not. And again, extradition is not automatic. There are some offenses. We are all living witness to the argument being used with this Sunday Igboho and Nnamdi Kanu. No matter may be your offense, if the issue is political, you cannot use extradition for such offense. And like on this issue, is even ethical. The only jurisdiction of the court in US is about money laundering, advanced fee fraud and co, not on his conduct as police officer, particularly the ethical conduct, which even I'm very sure the judge in the United States will not even know, cannot be called to come and interpret Nigerian Police Act or the code of conduct of Nigerian police, and I think we need to get that one clear. To Joe Malambuni, I think we've said it all. And I don't think I need to say more to it. It is a warning. The Supreme Court has given the warning. It is a situation of those who have ears, let them hear. If the APC refuse to hear, and at the same time, when the judiciary should come down on them, we will be the living witness to that. Thank you very much. And I really appreciate your contribution.
Okay, we have another caller on the line. Yes, thank you for joining us. Your name, your location, and please be brief. Okay, we lost that caller. Is there another person out there? Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. Please go straight to the point.
Good afternoon, Dr. Abati. I want to just good afternoon, there, sir. Now, my take, I want to ask, I want to say that I don't know why we quickly always judge our leader. It's not the best. Yes, this man, we don't know even if Americans are saying they have done this, I will let us give him the benefit of that because the man is so guilty, still an innocent. But we in this our own special African setup here. Once a man will just hear something, everybody will take it to the social media, we begin to say, yes, this man is a thief, is this. It doesn't come for that. Let us be patient and watch the way things go. Then before we begin to accuse the man, it's not the best. That's my own submission. God bless Nigeria in Jesus' name.
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Ajulo, did you hear him clearly? There was some...
I barely hear anything, really. The only thing I hear there is our leaders. That's the only thing I can pick from what he said.
But in everything, leadership is, of course, very crucial. Let's take the next caller. But please turn down the volume of your radio. Otherwise, it will be difficult for us to hear you in the studio.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you.
Can you hear me? This is Tayo calling from Abba.
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. On the FBI Abati, the law in the United States, when it comes to conspiracy, they know what they are doing. Yes, United States will define conspiracy. Even you may not have to know. You may not have to have knowledge about what is the crime is all about. That is one. And then number two, I know the FBI very well. The killer evidence against Abati, they just put the tip of the iceberg in that indictment. Remember that they have been recording hush puppies as far back as 2017 or whatever. So they have their evidence against me. They know that they are not going to get conviction against anyone. FBI hardly will not even come after, will not even put your name in the indictment. So they have the evidence. They have the evidence against him. And then this Governor Akeredolu, whatever, is it not the same Supreme Court that said they should not be using technicality to deny people's people's choice? Because from what I heard, he said he won the election, anyway, people voted for him. But to me, I think that they are using technicality. They are trying to use technicality to derail the wish of the people. That is the way I see it. Thank you, Dr. Abati.
Well, Dr. Ajulo, I'm sure you heard him clearly. He was responding.
Yes, I heard him.
Okay. So
yes, I heard him. Thank you very much. Yes. On the issue of hush puppy, I want you to believe something. Though I'm a Nigerian, but my calling is law. I'm a lawyer. And that is why I mentioned that the entire pages, 69 pages, have been combed. I'm not speculating. What betide me as a lawyer to speculate? What is presented and what we are seeing now, the position is this. I'm yet to see anything that connects him with issue of money laundering, which the United States court has jurisdiction over. And that is what I say. If tomorrow same is presented, maybe you will even be here when I will have a position to it. But as of now, and what I'm saying, I'm not predicting. Only a prophet can predict, and that is the position. The issue of Akeredolu is so clear. But one thing we should know is this. Let me quickly say one thing about the technicalities. We always get it wrong by saying technicalities should not be used, particularly in election petition. It has been said severally that when it comes to election petition, it's sui generis. The matter that is a class on its own. And maybe I will explain it better by saying that there's one law of equity and common law. Common law is more than the way it is written, and it follows the law, that's status as it is. Why equity had many other things. Equity has its canon of equity. Equity has it is more like issue of a mixture of religion, morality, what is right, what is wrong. But when it comes to issue of election, it is strictly common law and it must follow what is prescribed. And what is prescribed itself is technicalities. That is why today I reside in Abuja. I cannot go to the same court where Rotimi Akeredolu and Kyari Jegede has the opportunity to present their grievances to say I'm the governor of Ondo State. Because my name is not on the ballot boxes, I did not partake in the primaries, I did not do all those things. Technicalities itself is the law. And we can't say we should overlook technicalities. I think we need to get that one clear quickly. And again, we need to know one thing. Technicalities even help. Are you with me, please?
I'm with you, 100%. Yes.
Technicalities even help the smooth running of the law. And that is another thing so many people did not really get very well. So technicality is not that what people always say that it is undesirable. It is even what is helping. And that is why you can see today that at the end of the day, only 3 or 4 people will come out to say, I want to contest for president. If we remove the technicalities, all of us, because there's no condition, there's no law that stops anybody from doing anything. So I'm always a little bit cringy when I notice when people say, no, we should not use technicalities. Even voting is technicalities. Filing your case in court, technicalities. So that is, I think, maybe that one you understand a little meaning of technicalities from what I said.
Well, Dr. Ajulo, if I may help or assist the last caller, you said earlier on that there is no proof in that 69-page deposition in the California District Court that, DCP Abba Kyari had knowledge.
The question is that this person did not have the majority vote. The question is, who signed? He is not supposed to sign, has violated the Constitution. That one itself is technicality. So if you are now saying you don't want to use technicality to use technicality, this is a technical question that you presenting before the court to look at. And if the court should now use the same technicality to answer it, I don't think the court should be harmed on that issue. Though I understand there are sometimes that the court will say, let us jettison technicality, let us face the substantive issue and let's go on merit. But again, we can see how it is split. 3 believe that we don't need to use that technicality, and that's why they go into the merit of the case. Why the remaining 4 decided. I think, like I said, it is just an act of God. If you remember when Maradona's call, Maradona said, Maradona used his hand, he said it's an act of God. This judgment is an act of God. And we need to thank God, thank the Almighty. There is peace in Ondo State. Everybody has gone. And even the Mr. Kyari Jegede, that's the analyst, has even congratulated Arakunrin Reuben Akeredolu, and he has put everything behind him. Thank you.
Fair enough, Dr. Ajulo. We'll take one or two more calls and then we'll wrap it up. Who is the next person on the line? Hello? Okay. Okay, looks like Dr. Ajulo, you've been able to answer. Okay, there's someone on the line now. Hello, please turn down the volume of your radio.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Abati, and yes, so my name is Samuel Keja.
Thank you for joining us. Dr. Ajulo is listening.
Yes, my comment is as regards the issue with Abba. What I wanted to say was that it comes to tell us how the line between black and white when it comes to crime in Nigeria has been so blurred that many of us are on that gray line and we do not understand we are on that gray line. It is not news that many policemen and public officials romance with some of these people. They go to their burial, they go to their birthdays, and it doesn't seem like anything associated with them. And you know fully well that these people have shady businesses they do. You are contacting them by phone, and now someone like Hush Puppy. It's sad that it's being linked to someone like Abba, who most Nigerians hold in so much high esteem. At least we actually thought we had one cop that was incorruptible, but it breaks my heart as lot of many other Nigerians have that Abba can be found in this kind of mess. It just goes to show that we need to start to tell ourselves the truth. Let's not talk about the institutions of government that is being gradually penetrated by these same people. We see people saying drug bans. Let's not talk about what happened in another state. The people that sponsored the election. This man came.
Well, Dr. Ajulo, your response to that, and then I think we'll wrap up.
Well, let me quickly tell the caller that we're in the same boats. We were so shocked that it can happen. Well, that's if you remember my first opening statement about Abba Kyari was on the fact that Abba Kyari, with what he has done, like most of us were so surprised and so disturbed that this is happening again, because we've seen him as someone we can use as a modern Nigerian police officer. But like I said again, the investigation is still going on. We cannot use, I'm the lawyer, we should not use sentiment. Sentiment should not take the position of law. And the law is what I'm so focused on, and I still focus in it. And at the end of the day, as the event unfolds, we know where it is. But as it is, like what I have been saying, all the papers, one is here to see where the direct links of Abba Kyari with issue of money laundering is yet to be established.
Well,
thank you.
On that note, I would like to thank you very much, Dr. Kayode Ajulo, for joining us on City Talks with Reuben Abati today here at City 1051 FM. And I also like to thank all the persons who listened and those who called, those who joined us on social media and other platforms, including WhatsApp, Zoom, and Facebook. Remember, the conversation does not end here. You can reach out to me on my social media account at Abati1990 on Instagram. And also, you can reach out to the station at City 1051 and on all social media platforms. For those of you who tuned in late, no need to worry. You can visit YouTube page City 1051 to watch the entire show. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave comments. And don't forget also to tune in next week at noon for another exciting edition of City Talks. My name is Reuben Abati. The show was produced by Adedoja Allen, Abiodun Odunton, Ayodamola Oludara, Bello Akim, and Oluwaseun Adetitun. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much for listening. We'll be here again next Saturday. Thank you very much indeed. Enjoy your weekend.
City Talks with Reuben Abati.